you texted Paul Bettany, correct?
Again.
Okay. So the Boston flight, you were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there? Ended up with a very ugly situation with Amber. So
Mr. Depp, with respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was simply,
when
you would
take
agree,
5 minutes to look for a
you would
document.
agree that on. Let's pull up Exhibit 500, please. 500? 500. Defense Exhibit 500.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
Sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour any time?
Can't say that you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine. I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
And right after you cut your finger off, right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. Right after you sustained an injury to your finger, right after you sustained an injury to your finger,
Bless you.
you poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah. We're gonna fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again?
What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, reporting to you live from the Johnny Depp trial with some breaking news. It appears that Johnny Depp does drugs. I know you're shocked and you're shocked. I'm sure shocked. Who would have ever imagined that Johnny Depp, a rich and famous actor, ever tampered with that booger sugar? Who would have ever have guessed that in his many years on this planet, he ever took a puff of the devil's lettuce? Oh, wait 1 moment. What's that? I'm getting some more breaking news here. It turns out Johnny Depp also drinks alcohol. Oh my God. Seriously though, folks, today was a long day. And I'm sure you can tell. Today was a long day in the Johnny Depp trial. And you know, I get the sense that AH's lawyers, they don't really have a defense at all. Their only tactic is to point out that Johnny Depp does drugs and drinks alcohol. Literally, today was kind of strenuous. It was hard to keep up with at times because they were doing so many time jumps. Just going throughout the history of Johnny Depp possibly talking about drugs and text messages, conversations that he had with Paul Bettany. They're totally exposing the fact that Paul Bettany is cooler than we all thought, you know? Paul Bettany, you're cool in my book. Not only is he funny, but he likes to do drugs as well. But seriously, it was just a long day in this trial, the longest day, in fact, but Johnny was completely killing it. You know, I've seen some criticism of Johnny over the past couple of days and how he talks, because he talks kind of slow and methodically. But I mean, you have to remember the fact that Johnny's getting older, and Johnny has done a shit ton of drugs in his life. So yeah, he may talk a little slower than some. And I understand that frustrates some people. It doesn't frustrate me at all. In fact, it makes it easier to really hone in on what he's saying and really stick to his words. And even though he's talks kind of slower, it doesn't mean that he's not all the way there. This guy is still sharp as a knife. because the way he was slicing and dicing AH's lawyers up today was absolutely hilarious. You saw the intro to the video. Thanks to Jazz for creating that video. That intro was awesome. But he was just giving it to him. You know, like I said, he's sharp as a knife, sharp as a tool shed. Not a tool shed. What am I talking about? But he was like perfect with all of his replies and his responses. And he was sarcastic right in the right times. And he wasn't being disrespectful. In fact, I would say he was frustrating AH's lawyers in many points today. And he had these smart comebacks. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. And I think it shows that Johnny still got it. You know, maybe he talks a little slow. Some people are saying that he talks like Ozzy Osbourne. The dude has still got it. The way that he was serving up AH's lawyer, he's still got it. But all I'm getting from the defense here is that they keep talking about the fact that Johnny does this and he does that. Oh, here's a text message, Johnny, where you said you wanted these drugs. And here's this time you did these drugs. So they can't paint him out to be this monster that likes to put his hands on women. Okay? That's what he's accused of. We're not here because Johnny likes to puff a little marijuana. We're not here because Johnny likes to, do a few lines here and there. That's not why we're here. We're here because supposedly Johnny was this monster that just tortured AH. But her own lawyers can't even paint that picture. They can't. They're trying. They can't. So what they're doing now, they're trying to paint the picture of Johnny just being this complete addict. That's what they're doing. They can't paint him out to be this, I can't even say the word. They can't paint him out to be this harmer of women. So they're going to paint him out to be an addict. Because they can damn sure do that. Because Johnny, yes. Johnny likes to drink. Johnny likes to smoke. Johnny likes to mix Arm & Hammer with his Coke. Shout out to GC. But the reality is, Johnny isn't these things that he's being accused of. Yes, Johnny does drugs, but that doesn't equate to Johnny hits on people, hurts people. But they're trying to say, oh, that's direct correlation. Johnny, because you did these drugs, because you did shrooms, because you did this, it means that you ultimately did this to AH. Never mind the fact that AH is on literally all of the same stuff. Sometimes they do it together. Sometimes, maybe allegedly, she sneaks off with some of Johnny's stuff. They're all on the same stuff. So if you're going to paint Johnny out to be this addict, then how does AH look? She's doing the same things. And for the life of me, when I'm watching this trial, I'm like, do y'all not realize that? I would hope that the jury realizes that. Day after day after day, all they bring up is that Johnny does this, Johnny does that. Or this substance and that substance. All of the same substances that AH is doing. So if doing these substances equals you harming other people, then we could say the same for AH. So in painting out Johnny to be this complete addict, I think they're kind of painting out their own client to be one as well. And I think it's obvious both of them have an issue. Both of them have an issue with substance abuse and with alcohol. However, they handle it differently. One is a violent person, obviously. The other likes to separate themselves. And we know which ones are which, especially if you're watching this trial. So, all in all, After 7 days of this, I don't see what these people are getting at. I do not see what AH's lawyers are getting at here. None of it's like, okay, Johnny does this, Johnny does that. That's all they have on him. I mean, it was getting so petty to the point where they were bringing up dates like, oh, Johnny, we got you now. You said all you did was smoke marijuana this day, but really you asked about cocaine. And it's like, I mean, okay, do you expect the dude to remember what drugs he may have asked about on a particular date? Does that equate to him doing what you're saying he did to AH? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So yeah, I don't think that there's really many things that are catching us off guard here. You know, when I came into this, before this ever happened, I automatically assumed my whole entire life that Johnny probably did some of this stuff. Everyone in Hollywood does. Half of the people who aren't in Hollywood do. Some of you are watching this video right now on some of the same stuff that Johnny does, and I'm not here to judge anyone for that. Do what you do. Do it safely. But my point is that this doesn't come as a shocker to anyone, at least not to me. And you have to be totally naive if you think these people don't do drugs and drink alcohol. So none of that came as a shocker to me. The one thing that kind of took me aback today is some of the audio recordings that they played where Johnny was at his lowest moments. You know, and I can't really touch on what he was talking about and what he was saying in some of these audio clips. Let's just say he was talking about possibly hurting himself at times. And, you know, that was extremely sad. And you even heard moments where you hear Johnny like crying out in pain while going through like withdrawals and this detox. And you see that AH was just recording him in these moments. And they played these audio tapes to make Johnny look bad, to paint him out to be more of an addict. Oh, here's his audio of Johnny crying out in pain while he's suffering from withdrawal. However, to me, it just made AH look worse. Because who in that moment would record that? Instead of helping him, which we know that she was supposedly withholding some of his meds from him when he would ask for them, she recorded him while he cried out in pain while going through withdrawal. That doesn't make Johnny look worse to me. That makes AH look worse to me. She also like took pictures of him and he was like covered in ice cream. It was a lot of the stuff that they pulled up to paint Johnny out to be a worse person than what I believe he is, it all made AH look worse. Because they took these moments where Johnny was at his lowest and AH took pictures and recorded it. Why? You know? Why in that moment would you ever do that? This is supposed to be someone you love. You didn't help him. In these moments, you took advantage of him and you took pictures and you recorded him to show the world for no apparent reason other than to make yourself look better because you knew what type of person you were. You knew the type of things you put Johnny through. And before the world could ever hear what type of a monster you were, you tried to paint Johnny out to be the monster. And you collected all of these recordings strategically, waited for the right moments for Johnny to be at his lowest so you could record it, wait for moments that Johnny was upset about other things that were unrelated so you could record him in those moments. It's just totally despicable. But I want to know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you on the next video.